We have to help the Browns. Now, I have receipts I'm going to share, but let me explain the story. An 83-year-old couple whose home burned down in the Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire was staying at a hotel. And then their daughter helped save some money and get an Airbnb, which was very expensive, $14,000 a month. And when they got to the Airbnb, it was very different than the photos. And they took photos of what was at that Airbnb that they checked into. In fact, it was so bad that they wanted to leave immediately. But there was a curfew going on at that time and they weren't able to get anywhere else. So they stayed one night and then they left. And when they called the property manager, Albert, he's not helping them. No one's refunding their money. They've spent $14,000. They stayed one night in a place that was much different than described, and they're not being reimbursed. They need this money to now stay somewhere else. This is already a tough time. I believe this rent is already too much. So before just taking anyone's word for it, I called Albert, the property manager on Airbnb for this unit, and I was explaining to him that I'm an investigative journalist, that I heard this story, that I have photos, and if he has any response, and if he's willing or planning to refund the family for the nights they're not staying at the Airbnb. And he eventually started asking questions, and then he just said, why don't they contact Airbnb? And then I heard a dial tone. He hung up. And so I texted, I said, Albert, did you hang up on me or did we get disconnected? The last thing I heard you say was, quote unquote, why don't they contact Airbnb? And I sent him these 7 photos that I'm going to share here. I'm also going to share with you the listing, and you could compare, do these photos look like they were at the listing of the photos in the advertisement for $14,000 a month? And then I called this number 949-522-5558, and this is what happened.
That has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
I ended up calling from an anonymous number, and he answered, and when he heard my voice, he also hung up. I'm going to share this Airbnb link with you, but I checked out how much 27 nights would be, and this is what it said. So I put that amount in ChatGPT, and it says it's the Costa Rican currency, and it would be $19,000. I think that's price gouging during a state of emergency. Please share this, and let's figure out how we help the Browns.